shut up until you ask me to talk?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello, Shelly.
Hello?
Shelly?
Hi.
Hello?
What?
Can you hear me?
Hello? I can.
Okay.
What's up?
So, could you please tell me who my father is?
No?
And that would make me, as you called it, a fruit cranian, right? You're fruit crane?
Well, he's French. I'm Ukrainian, yeah.
There's a bit of a problem with that, Shelly.
There's no problem. The DNA tests have all been finished because of your little action, so...
Actually, I've had a DNA test.
Everybody down.
Actually, Shelly, I've had a DNA test. I have less than 1% French DNA. Less than 1%.
Whatever.
Pardon?
We've already got it proven of who the father is and who I am. We've already got that all the paperwork is ready for you after your accusation, so...
Really?
Yep.
So then why didn't my DNA
Yes,
test
my
show
father
that?
is a Pardon?
Why didn't my DNA test mention that? It actually states less than 1% French DNA. I have more Turkish DNA than I do French. Which is at 1%. I have actually... Pardon?
I'm pretty sure he wasn't Turkish.
What?
I said I'm pretty sure he wasn't Turkish.
Would you like to see the DNA results, Shelly?
Doesn't matter to me. I've already got everything all set up for whatever it is that you're doing, so... Like I said, when you're finished lying to everybody down there, I've got more than enough documentation to prove everything and dispute anything, so...
So do I. I have a right frontal lobe traumatic brain injury,
What?
Shelly.
You have a what?
A right frontal lobe traumatic brain injury. And when I was detained by immigration...
No.
Pardon?
Okay, well, obviously happened while you were, after you took off, because you've had over 17 doctors and psychiatrists, and you've been hospitalized I don't know how many times to prove that none of that stuff was valid when you were in hospital. So, don't worry, my father already has all your texts and all of your messages for the last year and a half. So...
And I have a lot of evidence as well. And no, it couldn't have happened while I was after, because I was in several hospitals in Ontario and Quebec. All of that.
Danielle, if you're trying to say that all of the doctors in every single hospital in Edmonton was wrong, you deal with them, because they're the ones who diagnosed you.
I
not
tried.
me.
They told me I died in 2010. I'd like to know why.
Yeah, I have no idea where any of this stuff comes from that you've been saying to people. But again, you were in Alberta Hospital.
I know,
you were 18
and I
years
tried
old
to
for
call...
2 years.
I know, and I tried to
You
call
never
them.
won
I tried to
from
call
that
them
injury.
and request my med records. They told me I could not be given that information because I was listed... I was declared dead in 2010, despite the fact that they had me there in 2012, Shelly. What? The Canadian consulate, by the way. Pardon?
Okay, well, that isn't my problem. What you've done since you've left and the lies that you've caused...
They're not
and
lies because I have
the
evidence,
problems
Shelly.
that you have caused for your family, and the lies and the problems that you have caused for your family have nothing to do with me. You've got Alberta looking for you. You've got Saskatchewan looking for you. You've got all kinds of people who you owe money to that has nothing to do with me. You made a choice, and I can't help you with those choices. I know what I've spent the last 24 years enduring. I have every piece of paper from every single doctor in 7 different containers already, and you came with me, in fact, to get all those papers when we went for PDD. For that little booklet of PDD, you traveled to every hospital to get every doctor's note that we could find for
Then why
information for you to get help.
can't any of those records be obtained? The Canadian consulate can't find any of them. Not a hospital record, not a name.
I can't help. You changed your name. You have told everybody in authority that I am not your mother, so of course they're not going to give you any records on some person who is my daughter. You can't prove who you are anymore because you've done everything to make sure that you can.
Your claims won't alter DNA.
I am the only person
My claims won't alter DNA, Shelly.
I still have your birth certificate. I still have your birth certificate. I still have your social insurance stuff. I still have every medical record ever given by every doctor. So every blood test, everything is all documented in 7 containers.
Why can't the consulate pull it
Then
up?
why can't any hospitals pull it up?
Why can't the consulate?
Why can't the consulate pull it up? Why can Canada not find any of these medical records in the hospitals at which they were performed? Because I was asking for them well before.
The lawyers also ask for them.
Every hospital
I don't know what
state.
you're looking for.
Okay, for example, my birth certificate, the social insurance card. Every hospitalization. I have called Alberta Hospital myself. I have called the Royal Alec. I have called everything.
USCIS and
I have called the Glenrose. I have called.
They're not.
USCIS and
I've asked them for my
They're not
paperwork
going to
under
be
Danielle
in-
Bourbonnais.
USCIS.
Before I had my name legally changed, I asked for the paperwork for Danielle Bourbonnais. The response I got from both the Royal Alec and Alberta Hospital was that
Can you stop talking for 1 minute and listen to me?
okay.
They cannot give you information over the phone without proof of who you are. You did not have an ID card when you called all these hospitals. You did not have your social insurance card, and you did not have your birth certificate with you at the time that you were calling all these hospitals.
I gave informed
You have to
consent
have
to my
proof.
lawyers and they
You
couldn't
have to
even
get
withdraw
it.
it.
The consulate, which exists for that purpose.
The Canadian
They want
consulate,
to
which
put all the
exists
police-
to pull that information up to prove who I am or not, could not obtain those records. The
They
government
can't do
cannot
it
find
because
it.
You have the ID to say who you are.
Not if it's
You have
court
no
subpoenaed,
ID to
Shelley.
say who you are.
If they were court subpoena ordered, which
Pardon?
they were, they could not pull it up because it does not exist in the government's records, Shelley. I was told I was dead since 2010 in Alberta when I had to call them at that shelter.
Besides, your claims won't alter your DNA.
And
Hey,
besides,
look,
your claims don't alter my
right
DNA.
there.
Shelley, I am not biologically yours. DNA evidence shows this. I've been DNA tested. You know what my primary
So
ethnicities
have I.
are? Irish and freaking Greek. Irish, British, Greek, and Italian are the 4 primary
Five
things.
Even if you have Ukrainian relatives,
5 minutes ago you were Turkish. So
No, I was
I'm
saying I have a
saying
1%
exactly-
DNA of Turkey. I have a less percent, 1%. I have less than 1%. And in fact, I will send, if you provide me an email address, I will give you direct access to the DNA test.
and even your Ukrainian
I
relatives
haven't had a
don't know
computer
who
in
you are.
months. My only access to speak to you was through Secret, and you're not even on there anymore. So, whatever. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what the hospitals are doing. You and I both know you spent all that time in those hospitals, and you and I both know that I have all the records, and you
I
and
know.
I both know how much medication you've been on since you were 5 years old. So,
But none of that, I know you have all the records in a bin. I've seen the bins for myself. However, the government, with a court-ordered subpoena, cannot get that information because they're told that information does not exist. So what that means
That those records aren't legitimate.
is that those records are not legitimate. Because, yeah, you have a bin
Well, how
full of
can they not be
paperwork.
legitimate?
I don't know, Shelly.
How can they not
I'd
be-
like to know that too.
if you I don't know what you do doing, and I don't know what the hospitals are doing, but I have nothing to do with it. You made a choice, you left, you've accused me of more than enough things than I could ever imagine a child doing to their parents, and I can't help you because you've told everybody that I'm not allowed to speak to you. I can't get a hold of you, I can't find you, I can't help you prove who you are because you've told so many lies to everybody.
So,
I would love much for you to be okay. I would love very much to help you, and I would love to do everything in my power to prove to you who you are. But I'm not allowed to because you've
does
made
that
sure
include
of
all
it.
the organizations that had no idea who Danielle Bourbonnais was in Saskatchewan?
Yeah, you remember how you said that you had me sign up for that thing that started in September of the year that you moved me to Saskatchewan, right?
2015.
Yeah, you remember that program that you told the house in Alberta that we moved to after Dave that you had to break the lease to get me to Saskatchewan because I had to be in a program for orientation in August and enrollment in September? When I was in that safe shelter that I was brought
No,
to?
you were signed up for a program, and you were second on the wait list to go to that house.
I know,
You
Shelly.
were
I
going
called
to
them.
be-
I called that house, Shelly. They never had me on a wait list. They never heard of me.
Of course.
I contacted them the
Of course
day I was
not.
removed from your custody, Shelly. I contacted
Danielle,
them the day
you
I was
left
removed.
the day before your psychiatrist appointment to put you on the wait list. Ahead of you on the wait list for that program.
They still would have
And you
heard
left
of you.
the day before your psychiatrist appointment, which would have put you on the wait list to go there.
So I wasn't on the wait list, which means you lied back in Alberta to get off the lease.
Then there was nothing confirming that you were
You're
going to
in
be
a
there.
program. You were in a program in
You
Saskatchewan
had
that was going
you had
to
no
help
obligation
you.
to leave Alberta at that point.
Pardon?
Elijah, you can speak a little bit louder than I can.
That means I had no obligation to leave Alberta. If I wasn't on the wait list, then legally I shouldn't have been. Shouldn't have been able to break that lease because you told them I was mandatorily had to be in there by September.
There was no wait list. There was no obligation. There was no anything. There was no obligation for you to be there.
Are you gonna? You were hooked up to a program in Saskatchewan who was going to help you get all of the help that you needed to get on your own.
So you're saying
You got the letter from the psychiatrist, but the program, you never got to meet with the lady because, actually you did meet with her, in fact. But then you left before your psychiatrist appointment where they could deem you to be in the program. In fact, I've got the renewal of the program that you were hooked up to because they didn't even know you were gone.
Listen, Shelly.
So when I called
Listen,
the lady,
Shelly. Claims don't alter DNA.
And according to DNA, you're not biologically my mother, and Leo is not biologically my father. Explain that to me.
Then why are you calling me? I gave birth to you. I pushed you out of whatever. I got stitches for it.
Freaking Trapper talking about the
My
uterus.
time in the hospital with you, and I took you home, and I took you to Marshall, and I took you
When
to
were those
Edmonton, and I
DNA
took you to
tests
Spruce
taken?
Grove, and I
When
took
were
you
the
everywhere.
DNA tests taken, Shelly?
I can't help you with that. You are who you are, and you can
When
choose
were
to
they
believe
taken?
it, or you can choose
Stop
whatever
evading
it
the
is game that
question,
you're
Shelly.
playing.
Stop
But I
avoiding the
can't do
question.
anything for that. because
Stop avoiding the
there's more
question.
than enough DNA to for mine.
Stop evading the question, Shelly.
If that's the case, why don't you send it to police to prove it if you're so desperate? Send it down to us. Prove it.
Goodman, you have contacted me. When you contacted me the last time with those texts, my father took my phone and he took all of the information from every text that you've ever sent me since the day you left and compiled a whole list of everything so that everything was covered for a day when you come back to get the information. Then if you, as an adult,
Because we're more than capable of showing everyone these DNA tests.
Yeah. Would you like your father to have the DNA test? If you say you don't have a computer, can we give Brian the DNA to prove I'm not yours?
We also
You can't prove that you're not
we also
mine
have the
because you're
diagnoses.
all
We
mine.
also have the diagnoses.
My
Should we
parents
send
were
that
in
to your
the
father?
hospital when you were born.
We have the diagnoses. Should we send that to your father?
Yeah, if you say your father has all your evidence proving my existence and my diagnostics and everything, so do we. Would
We
you
have
like
the
us to send you the diagnostic confirming that I had a blood platelet count last March of approximately 55,000, which is 1/3 of a healthy human, and it was estimated at one point to be as low as 20,000?
Would you like that?
Would you like the
I have
confirmation of a
few
right frontal lobe
people-
traumatic brain injury estimated to have occurred in childhood?
Jeez, but that has nothing to do with me. Every doctor in Edmonton never diagnosed you with a brain injury.
Because you always push psychiatric, Shelly. You push Tourette's. You push Asperger's. You push nonverbal learning disorder, reactive attachment, everything Dr. Naherney stacked on my head.
Oh, and by the way, that shared decision-making document.
It was a forgery.
You
Shared
had- you
decision
only
making
had-
was proved to be a forgery, missing 2 pages anyways.
Yeah, your shared decision-making document was
Okay.
missing 2 pages. The signature doesn't match Elijah's.
The
You had
paperwork
nothing.
given to me from that Lorraine, whatever her name
Laura
was.
Reed.
Yeah, her, Laura Reed. She even told me after I was taken from you and I was in that shelter, that the paperwork you had was a forgery of the paperwork that it should have been and only half of what needed. And she was trying to connect me with lawyers to prove that.
Listen, Shelly, you have to stop lying to us. You have to stop lying to us.
It was Laura Reed who told me to get as far east as possible, which is how I ended up in Ontario.
Listen, Shelly, you have to stop lying to us like you've been lying to us before. I mean, back when I had my previous phone call with you, Shelly, I already had pictures of why the police showed up at that time, and you screwed up on what Elijah's name was. We have proof. Stop lying to us. Stop putting more nails in your coffin, and just tell the truth already. Come clean.
I'm the nails in my coffin. You're the ones who have contacted me. My parents were there the day you were born while I was in the hospital.
So
You
you
can
want to
contact
stand by
whoever
this
you
claim
want
that
to
Elijah
see.
is your child?
If you
So you want to stand by this claim that Elijah is your child? You want to stand by this claim? You want to stand by this
stand by
claim?
whatever you want. I don't know who you are. I don't know who my daughter is anymore because she chooses not to contact me. Mind you, before she was trying to contact me to get rid of you.
Oh, really?
What?
Ha!
Yep.
That is so bullshit. I have Elijah's
Is it?
phone. I have Elijah's phone. I have Elijah's phone. I can look through the text just as much as he does. In fact, most of the time he's right next to me when he texts.
Honey, would you like to tell him how many times you asked for help to come and get you? Would you like to tell him?
Yeah,
how
I
many
even
times you want
he
to
sent
come
that
help?
through. He sent that through my own Skype account, Shelly. I can see those texts just fine.
Yeah.
I can see those texts just fine, and I know what they are. They are the result of PTSD. The fact that he has very little social skills due to a lack of human interaction. They're the result of PTSD. I know exactly what he was talking about. Shelly, I've seen these
Plenty
texts.
of interaction chose to hurt people. And he had plenty of interaction in the hospitals when he chose not to hurt people.
Shelly, if you're not going to stop lying to us, we already have you contradicting the official account, so we'll just go with that. If you're not going to stop lying to us, you've already sealed your own coffin shut. We've already gotten more than enough out of this. Bear in mind, Shelly, it is perfectly legal. It is perfectly legal in both of our jurisdictions for this phone call to be recorded without the informed consent of everyone involved, so long as one of the parties gives consent. So, have a good day.
I really don't
Have a
care.
good day. Have a good day. All right.